Okay, guys, it's time for another in a long line of Michael makes up a video at the end of the day because he didn't have time to actually get anything done properly. It's Seven Spoilers, the new show, Seven Spoilers, where we talk about seven spoilers from recent and maybe not so recent movies that you may or may not have seen. And it's basically just a way of doing a review without calling it a review, because I'm saucy and I know how to play the game and get literally hundreds of views. Let's do this. Seven spoilers, Mortal Kombat. And not the kind of bad Mortal Kombat, but the newer, more bland Mortal Kombat. Yes, sir. This is not your Papa Bear's Mortal Kombat. This is Mortal Kombat? Here's how the first movie starts. Mortal Kombat! Fuck, I'm in. Here's how the 2021 version starts. Cool. Honestly, the best thing is that's the best scene in the movie too. Like the opening is so fucking good. It's so it's toy. But that's not. We're not talking. We're going through seven spoilers. Let's do it. Number one spoiler. It's spineless, man. Yeah. So when I say spineless, I mean that there's no spines getting pulled out. There's not a single spine is pulled out in this movie, and I find that to be heresy. I figure you have the technology, you can pull out spines. They teased us a bit. Melina, whatever. She gets a hole blasted through her by Sonya Blade when Sonya gets her powers off screen. And you see your spine showing through, and that's pretty sick. We get some other pretty sick kills, or fatalities specifically. Kung Lao versus Nitara is great. Nitara is Batgirl, basically. And she is so beautiful. Lao from Dark Knight fucking loves this chick, and she exists solely to be to have a joke made about her and her screechy fucking voice, and to piss off Lao from the Dark Knight because Kung Lao fucking just destroys her. It is one of the most beautiful, savage things I've ever seen on film. And I would actually say it's the highlight of the movie. There's two highlights, but the big, like, violence quotient highlight has got to be Kung Lao versus Nitara. It's a very short fight, doesn't really amount to much, but him, like, spinning his hat in the ground like a fucking buzzsaw and sawing her in half face first, and just, like, there's blood going everywhere, does a little hat thing, and just lets out that nice little, oh, just tickle the fans' ball sacks reference point. Flawless victory. So good, so good. Even someone like me who does not mark out very easily at really cheap references, even I was like, that's good shit. And that came, well, we'll talk about, well, this came like middle to near the end of the second act. We'll get to that in a second. Let's see, Liu Kang versus Cabal. I'll get to the meat of it, but that's one fatality where it didn't really feel like there was a whole lot. Like, it's a beautiful moment because we get the dragon breath, or whatever the fuck it's called, the dragon form, whatever, that Liu Kang is famous for. He did it in the games all the way back to his first appearance. And it's really cool, but all he does is he burns Cabal to death. And I don't know. If that was in the midst of like a bunch of really hardcore baller fatalities, then it would be pretty sick. But the fact that it comes in the midst of a lot of fatalities that are just kind of, they're fine. It hurts a little bit. I kind of wanted more, especially like Bihan or Sub-Zero. Kind of goes down like a little bitch. Just gonna say it. Like, I understand that, like, it's kind of poetic that he dies by fire. But, you know, for the final kill of the movie, it feels like a bit of a wet fart by like, again, like, this is going to be the big final kill. Rip the motherfucker's spine out. rip the motherfucker's spine out. Do something cool in this, a movie based on a video game that was purely popular because people wanted to see blood and guts. Come on. I'm just gonna jerk off this thing right here. So yeah, Reiko, however the fuck you say his name, just taking Jax's hands. That's a really good kill. Let's see. Kano gets a good kill. Actually, let's just move on to the second spoiler. Kano steals the show and dies by Garden Gnome. So Kano fucking great in this film. Kano, everybody's talking about him. He's amazing. He's played by I forgot his name already. What is he played by? He's played by Josh Lawson. Josh Lawson fucking nails it. Him and Joe Taslim as Bi-Han, aka Sub-Zero, are definitely the standouts. Although Joe Taslim, for my money, does not get quite. The filmmakers did not capitalize on getting the dude from the Raid in their film, as far as I'm concerned. And there's some other relative standouts. Makad Brooks as Jax is great. I remember seeing him first in True Blood season 2, and I was uncertain about his casting here, but dude's buff, although he does lose a few pounds in this movie. He's a great Jax. He's a very good Jax. I wish he was in it more. Sonya Blade kind of takes over after he gets his arms ripped off. And Jessica McNamee, however you say her name, I don't think she's a bad actress, but I don't think that Sonya Blade is a very well-written character in this. I don't know, there's just something off about her. Basically, she just comes off like she's in a different movie, and her whole character is basically just exposition and being kind of pissy because she doesn't have a Mortal Kombat birthmark. Which, on paper is fine, but I don't think it works very well in the film. I think it's just a matter of direction, writing, and actor not quite jiving in the film, which is bad because she's one of our leads. Lewis Tan as Cole Young is our other lead. Of course, Cole is a new character, and he has a pretty, I think his powers that he gets are actually pretty cool, but it's a little too late, I think. Especially when you have all these more interesting characters who we could be following. It makes perfect sense to follow Liu Kang. I feel like the only real reason you might not is because he was basically the main character, if I remember correctly, in the first Mortal Kombat movie. But I don't know. Don't if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Just have one of our main character, our mini awesome mains from Mortal Kombat appear. That being said, I think Lewis Tan does a really good job in the movie. I think he is a perfectly serviceable protagonist. I just don't think that... I think it's one of those things where if the rest of the movie just knocked my fucking socks off, he'd be perfect. But because it's missing so many important elements and not really jiving for me, him being kind of, just... He's a bit of a punching bag. He's working these fights for $200, which seems really low. I don't know. He's a family man. He's got a daughter and a wife. Whoopity-doopity-doo. It just feels very stock. But props where props are due. Lewis Tan seems really talented. We'll get into how that talent might be a little bit wasted in a second. But yeah, Kano, at the end of the day, wins. He is so fucking good and easily trumps everybody else in the movie. Absolutely perfect. Actually, what's Ludi Lin played Liu Kang. Which Ludi Lin is good. He's just, I don't know. He's another one where he's underserved by the script quite a bit. Chin Han as Shang Tsung, stock villain material. All these, it's a lot of stock characters. And even Kano is technically a stock character. He's just kind of the brutish asshole type. But he's, Josh Lawson is so good in this role that it's fine. And there's so many little moments you can tell were improvised by him. A lot of it is just him saying fuck in very creative ways, but you know what? I'll take it. I got a lot of laughs out of it. The audience got a lot of laughs out of it. It worked. Also, and he's killed by a garden gnome, which is set up well, and I guess it would be a good way for them to get into his metal faceplate, which we don't see in this movie. But I'll get into the fights at the end because we'll get to it. Number 3, all the cool bits are here.
A laser beam! It's better than fireballs, you pussy!
For fans, but not really for people who enjoy good movies. So on the plus side, again, for fans, there's a lot that's specifically inserted just for you. All the finish hymns, the get over here's, name drops, recognizable characters, various moves, leg swipe spamming by Liu Kang. It's all here. It's kind of hollow. It just feels like a lot of references to keep the fans happy. But that said, the fans next to me seem to really they were very vocal in their enjoyment. So I think it might just be a matter of I am not a hardcore Mortal Kombat fan. I enjoy Mortal Kombat. I think it's a cool universe. I like the games. I like the 90s movie. I just, I can't be made to care just by name drops and little references, Easter eggs. I need like some meat there. And I don't feel like there's a lot of meat here. The get over here from the trailer that's in there, that's in the movie. The blood knife is in there, which is just a really solid moment. In the end, we get this "I am Scorpion" moment, which is cool, I guess. At the end when Bihan has been I wish he had gotten his head cut off. I could have said Bihan got beheaded. God damn it. But at the end, once Bihan is dead and Shang Tsung comes out and is like, brr, 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 you haven't seen the last of me. I'll get you next time, Gadget. He mentions the death is just another realm or whatever, which is great because that basically says, hey, this series about necromancers and zombies and other dimensions and shit, yep, we're doing that in the sequel. And that's kind of the biggest problem is this all feels like it's just sequel bait. It just feels like a preview for the next movie, which is likely to happen. I feel like this is going to do pretty fucking well because it's like perfect timing, but I don't know. Like the next one better serve up the goods. Number 4, Citizen Cage.
Those were $500 sunglasses, asshole.
All right, so for those curious if Johnny Cage shows up and you for some reason have not looked up spoilers elsewhere or seen the movie, which seems unlikely, but whatever, of course he doesn't show up. Come on. Warner Brothers wants to know if this one is going to be good enough to cast a big name in the role, so instead we get this dumb fuck poster, which I guess suggests that Johnny Cage stars in movies as himself. I don't know. I don't understand what the fuck this is. I literally understand what it is, but just being a YouTuber who needs to use hyperbole, I don't know what the fuck I'm supposed to be looking at here. Like, yes, it is a movie poster for a movie starring Johnny Cage that's titled Citizen Cage, which is not a bad joke. It just it leaves a lot of questions in the air. And I know I shouldn't think about it too hard, but for a movie that tries to like balance reality and fantasy so well, because I think they do balance it. It's really more that there's just a lack of stuff going on, but I think they balance the outrageousness with the more like realistic stuff really well. This is so stupid. This is the dumbest fucking. And then it ends and it goes to credits, and you're supposed to be like, yeah, fuck yeah, Johnny Cage. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm gonna listen to Techno Syndrome on the whole drive home. I'm gonna run some red lights, motherfucker. Like, I don't know. It made me like of course Johnny Cage is gonna show up in the sequel. There's nothing like telling me, oh yeah, we're gonna get Johnny Cage in the next movie. Yeah, he should have been in this fucking movie. Like, the only reason he's not in this movie is so you could do this thing right here and get people pumped for a sequel by teasing his name. Of course he's gonna be in the fucking movie. Like, he's an integral part of this universe. People, like, it's like when Marvel teased Thanos back in the day, right? What was cool about that was we didn't know if Thanos was going to show up in the Avengers, or in the future Avengers movies, rather. There wasn't any real, like, he doesn't have to show up. There's a bunch of different characters that could show up instead of him at that point in time that would have been just as good. And so it's a cool surprise to see, oh yeah, Thanos is here. But to be like, oh yeah, Johnny Cage is coming. Yeah! He fucking better be. It's Mortal Kombat. So I don't know. I just found that kind of it's borderline insulting. I won't say it's actually insulting, but it's borderline. It's like right there. It's right on the tippity tip. You can see it, little thing waving at you, going, "Hi, I'm gonna insult you today," and I don't particularly care for that. And that's kind of, I don't like references that much. They don't usually bother me, but when a movie is made up of references and then ends on a reference and it's all just about the Easter eggs and the wink wink nudge nudge, drives me a little crazy. Anyway, number 5, Goro's got no guts. Okay, Goro does that literally have guts because his stomach gets sliced open and his guts pour out and they're hot and steamy and it's kind of cool. But Goro is so, like, I thought Goro was underused in, like, the first Mortal Kombat. But at least he had, like, a little bit of build-up. And then, he dies, let's call it in a humorous way. They didn't really have the technology to do a good Goro fight. So, they made a joke out of him. And that's fair. That's fine. And that nut punch is pretty good, let's be honest here. But Goro here sucks. It's a cool design. The CGI is pretty good. Of course, the fight is in darkness because CGI. That is the big problem with CGI. You see it with the Godzilla movies. You got to cover it up because it's really expensive. It's not just dudes in suits. But anyway, literally his entire buildup is a shadow. And again, it's a reference for fans. It's one of those nods where the fans know who Goro is. That's all you need. So you see his shadow, and Sung whatever is like, hey, dude, you're a prince of the whatever species, and it's an honor to have you here. Could you go fucking could you go kill this man and his wife and daughter? Thank you, bro. And sends him out, and Goro fights in the Earth realm, at a cabin in the woods, and he gets beaten when our hero, very obviously, like the thing that is going to happen, he sees his wife and kid are in danger, and that is what he needs to get his Hakuna Matata or whatever, and turn into Armadillo Man or whatever the fuck he's supposed to be. And it's a cool thing. Like, basically he just has that power where, like, you keep getting hit and you absorb the energy and then you can expel the energy, which is cool. I think that's a cool idea for a Mortal Kombat character. Again, not sure we needed an original character, but whatever, that's fine. It's an interesting idea. I like that they just chose something and went with it rather than like try to pussyfoot around and like combine shit. So that's fine. But Goro kind of sucks. He dies like a fucking puss. That's how it is. Let's see. Number 6, the second act kills it. Literally, it kills the momentum of the movie.
Maybe your Arcana's getting your ass kicked by a hat.
The second act sucks so bad. It's literally like we get all this build up, and then they meet Liu Kang, and he takes him to this mysterious temple thing, and we get this fighting, or this little like really dinky tiny fighting arena, and they just stay there. They hang out there training forever. It honestly, I don't know how long it was. It feels like an hour. It feels like a fucking hour goes by of just them hanging out, having character moments. Kano obviously turning into a bad guy. Shock. It feels, the whole movie stops. And because like the first act is great. I'll just be straight up with you. The first act of this movie is quality setup. It has problems. Obviously, like Sonya Blade, not great. But overall, it's really good. There's a lot of great banter. I actually, I'm going to give Sonya Blade her due. Her banter with Kano is really good. That's the one point where she's really strong. But once they meet Liu Kang and they enter the temple and they meet Raiden, and it turns into a damp squib, buddy. Oh my god. And it never really recovers. There's that brief sense it'll recover when Kung Lao and Nitara, the fatality happens, but it's just not. It's not good. Like, just send them to fucking Outworld. Come on. Just send them to fucking Outworld. Good lord. And that actually brings me to number 7. There's no tournament.
Well, they don't want a tournament. Let's give them one. But let's do it our way.
That's right. In Mortal Kombat, there's no Mortal Kombat. Kind of. So okay. First off, I know fans are going to say this, so I'm just going to get this out of the way. I understand that a lot of the games don't have tournaments. I get that. There's a bunch of games in the franchise that have nothing basically to do with the tournament. It's more about the invasion or dealing with other problems or the special forces or whatever. Cool. But this is a Mortal Kombat movie, and it's meant to be the big, let's start a new Mortal Kombat franchise. People want to see a tournament. I wanted to see a tournament. The best part of this is the tournament. It's the best way to introduce the characters. It's simple. You really don't have to do a lot of exposition to make it work. It's literally just, hey, you're chosen for this tournament. It's an Outworld. What's Outworld? Well, blah, 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 blah. Oh, okay. Gone. Easy. But they didn't do that, which is very frustrating. And so, we get fights in a like trailer in a like boat place. I don't know, boat graveyard, whatever you call it. A boat yard, right? Whatever. We get one in the woods. We get one. I actually don't know where I know one is the pit or whatever from one of the video games, but like a lot of them are just like, they're just dark places. That's what most of these places are. They're just dark places where CGI is and stunt dudes are easy to hide. That's really what they amount to. And then we get the final fight is in an MMA cage, but it's covered in ice, so it's special. The whole film, I was like, okay, we got to get to the tournament at some point, right? Like they keep talking about this tournament, but the idea is that, okay, what's his I keep forgetting his fucking name. I'm so bad at this. Shang Tsung. Shang Tsung really doesn't want to lose Mortal Kombat, and there's a prophecy. Like there's always a prophecy that the offspring of Hanzo Hasashi, who's Scorpion, played by Hiroyuki Sanada. But his, great grandson is going to, be the one to fulfill the prophecy and defeat Outer World or whatever, Outworld. And he decides to cheat and just sends warriors to Earth because that's cheaper, I guess. And so our heroes, in need of a way to defeat the villains or like to get back at them, they're like, you know what? Fuck it. If he doesn't want a tournament, we'll bring the tournament to him. And so that gives us a montage. And so the film's third act culminates in a massive montage of several fight scenes going on at once, which completely fucks the entire concept of the movie. Because what we want to, okay, it's a movie about fighters, right? Like this is a movie where you want to see two things. You want to see, you want to see the characters you like and all that. But as far as like the content itself, you want to see fights and you want to see like brutal ass fatalities. Those are the two primary components of Mortal Kombat. And you get a few really good fatalities. Don't get me wrong. I still think that overall they're kind of lame, but you do get some really good fatalities. But all the fights occur primarily at the end. At the same time, so you don't get to focus on them at all. They're all edited to shit. Like, you cannot tell what's going on half the time. Like, you get the money shots of the special moves, but, like, I can't tell if these people are good fighters, and I know for a fact some of them are. And, you get Melina and her delightful big booty getting decimated, and she's great. Sissy Stringer is great in the role. I think that, she's just the right level of camp for this kind of movie. I actually could have used more of her. I wish they had shown the teeth earlier. I think like that was kind of a lame thing to do because, people want the teeth. Give her the fucking, the face thing. The face, the mask. Give her the big old teeth. You get Nathan Jones as Rico, whatever the fuck, taking the hands from Jax. You get a pretty fun Scorpion versus Sub-Zero fight. Not as fun as it could be, but it's one of the easiest to see, which is great. Again, edited to shit, but you can see it at least. I honestly, like, I'm forgetting who fights who because of all of them being plopped together like that. Kano gets done dirty. Everybody gets done dirty, really, because like nothing is given time to breathe. And the thing is, if you just had a tournament style movie, people would pay to just see fight with a little bit of plot woven in. Like, it should be like the Tenkaichi tournament from Dragon Ball, really. Like, it should be like that arc from Dragon Ball, but translated to a heavy R-rated action flick, it's something that can be done, narratively speaking. Like, you can make a narrative built around a tournament. Enter the Dragon is basically that. You know, I'm still, like, maybe a little too much plot in Enter the Dragon, but it's still basically that. You know, this has happened before. You can do this. You do not need to overcomplicate it. I'm all for changing things to make them work better for a narrative, but, like, this is actively hindering the narrative to try and, you know, work in Cole's plot, trying to do this whole, like, oh, they're going to cheat and send warriors to Earth, and we're not going to get it. No, don't save. I know what this is. This is not like we're going to be truthful to the games. This is we're going to save the tournament for the sequel because it's going to be expensive to do an Outworld thing, and we want to have something to do in that second movie. But the thing is, you can just have movie after movie of tournament. I don't care. Give me, like, literally, you can bring back the same relative set of characters with, like, a few add-ons. Just make some bullshit up about how they were, you know, resurrected or whatever, or brought from another dimension. I don't give a fuck. Have them fight each other, and you're good. There's no tournament, and within that lack of tournament, there are not really any great fight scenes. Except, like, again, the beginning is pretty good. There's still, if I remember correctly, a few too many edits, but it's like, it's not that fucking complicated, guys. Get a cinematographer who can shoot action. Get an editor who's not going to destroy this thing in post. Get a director who knows fights. I'm not sure if Simon McQuoid, is that his name? I'm sure, like, he seems, from a technical perspective, he seems fine. He seems like a workhorse. It's a perfectly fine film as far as direction. The characters, for the most part, work. Again, Sonya Blade, there's a tone that he creates that I think is perfect for this universe. I think that there is great groundwork here. But if you give me Mortal Kombat, give me the fucking tournament. Anyway, there's more that could be talked about here, but this has been 7 spoilers of an excuse for me to do a list-style video that's really just a review. I thought Mortal Kombat was fine. Go watch a movie.